Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at 10 things to do in Tokyo. Alright, let's get to it. Number 1. Number 1 on our list is the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building located in Shinjuku. The government building offers an observation deck on the 45th floor, which allows you to see large amounts of Tokyo with a bird's eye view, and the best part is it's totally free to do. Also, when you go, after you go and explore the observation deck and the small gift shop on it, with sometimes someone playing a piano, you go down to the first floor and there will be Olympic memorabilia. Tokyo is hosting the 2020 Olympics, so there are Olympic flags there, the Olympic torches, and other history about the Olympics going on right now inside that building. This building also offers a beautiful park in front of it and an interesting modern art display around the building as well, and it's centrally located in Shinjuku, so it's easy to go from here to other different locations that you might want to do, or simply pass by it and just do it along your way. Finding the observation deck is pretty easy. All you gotta do is there's usually a line wrapped around the building. It goes pretty quick. This line is basically just because of elevators, and there's plenty of room on the floor to make sure you get an open view of one of the windows. There's plenty up there. The observation decks also change between the left and the right building based on the season. So make sure to check to see which season you're going, or based on the kind of view you really want. You can see which ones are open. Sometimes both are open and sometimes both are closed. So just be aware of this one on your travel. Number 2, Kabuto. Kabuto is a nightlife district located in Shinjuku. This area is full of restaurants, arcades, themed cafes, love hotels, the famous robot restaurant, and any other adult entertainment in the area. This area you can also bring kids to. It is a very safe area, so do not feel threatened by it being sort of a red light district or a nightlife district. It's safe to be in. A lot of teenagers are in this area, locals. The farther back you do go in Kabuto, you could definitely tell it's a more local area. So I recommend just kind of staying around the main sort of strip in this area. And there's a ton to experience with this as well. Also, Golden Guy is right next to Kabuto, so if you're looking to hit up some bars in the awesome Golden Guy area, definitely highly recommend checking it out. Even if you don't go to any bars, just definitely go and see it and walk around. It has such an amazing feel to it. Number 3 on our list is Shibuya Scramble. This is one of the world's largest crossings and is an amazing sight to see, just the mass of people moving. It also depends on the time of day you go. You can see all different things, from live performers happening on the street or just interesting characters walking around this area. It's a very lively area full of a ton of different shoppings and stores. The Shibuya station drops you off right at the crossing, so not a long walk if you have the JR pass. And there's also the great food market just below the crossing, so I highly recommend checking that out if you're looking for some food, all different types. Shibuya also offers a lot of different Western style shopping as well, and Western style restaurants. It's an interesting take to go check these out. You get to see what sort of their idea of Western food is like, mixed with this Japanese flair cuisine. Also, in the Shibuya crossing is a strip full of small markets, and these small markets offer a lot more affordable shopping than places like Shinjuku. So this is an awesome spot to find stuff that's more in the medium to low price range if that's what you're into. They also offer a lot of Western style stores. So if you're missing something from home that you really wish you would have brought with you, or you just need something back from home that because you're missing it, this is definitely a great place to go just to get some of those things. Like I said, with the Japanese style, and some of them, these items are exclusive to Japan. So you get to try some items that from a store that you would normally experience in your home country, but you also get to experience them with these special limitations on it. So definitely make sure to check out Shibuya Crossing. At night is amazing, with a ton of people are out, especially a little early in the day, not as many people are out, but come midday, especially on a weekend, super busy, and it's best to go when it's busy to really get the true experience. Number 4 on the list, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, Shinto Shrine. And it is a Shinto Shrine located in a forest of 100,000 trees that were donated from all over Japan. And you can definitely tell walking through this forest where it doesn't seem like it was naturally located there, just because the trees differ so greatly from each other. You can definitely tell they're all from similar families, but definitely the location that these trees were taken from adds unique character, especially also the huge gates you have to walk through to get into the park.
The park is free, with a couple additions that are either closed off the public or only running certain times. Sometimes are at cost. The shrine is also free to go to. The shrine itself was built in 1920 and was a celebration, will be held in 2020. And was built for the Emperor Mijing and his Empress Shokin. And this shrine is absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of paths that are like sort of main paths and maps to help you so you don't get lost. Just stay on the paths. There's a dojo on site. There's a small zoo, I believe, on site. A lot of different things you can see. There's a museum as long as with the shrine. There are certain things you can buy and do at these shrines, even if you're a tourist. Just keep in mind some areas do not allow photography and videography, and just be mindful and respectful of that in these certain areas. And feel free to grab a brochure and see how their customs are done. They are not offended at all if you partake in their customs and try to be culturally integrated with them. Number 5, the Imperial Palace. How can you not go to Tokyo and check out the Imperial Palace? And this is located in the heart of Tokyo. It's right off of Tokyo Station. You can go visit the outer grounds of the palace, which offer an interesting view of ancient Tokyo. It's got a beautiful garden. You cannot go in the palace unless you have special permission, and you can look that up on how to get that special permission. And sometimes you can see certain things when you get to go in, but you can also see stuff from the outside. When you go to the Imperial Palace, you can definitely tell you'll see futuristic Tokyo, and then suddenly you go over a road, and it's just like you just step back in time. And it's just an amazing feeling. You get there, your view is a little limited there, but you can definitely tell how advanced Japan was even in these ancient times. You can really stay by a moat. You can check out a gatehouse. You can check out the main bridge that leads in. There's different sectors. I was in the west side when I went there, and I approached from the north, and so you get to walk around, and there's different ways to go. I just went in the one way, so just keep that in mind if you want to try to get different views of the palace and experience little different things. Just be respectful when you're there. There's a ton of guards there, always watching and stuff like that. They won't bother you if you're not doing anything wrong, and to know if you do something wrong, there's usually a sign that says don't do this, and they're all in English and in Japanese, so there shouldn't be any issue with sort of any occurrences happening because you weren't sure if it was right or wrong to do. Number 6, and this one I can't stress enough, definitely get the JR Pass if you can. And once you get the JR Pass, just take a train ride around the city on the metro trains, or even go and take the bullet train just to some location, hang out on that location for a little bit and head back. You will not regret it. The trains offer you a unique perspective of Tokyo because you get to be a little bit higher up, and because you're usually in different areas that these trains will go through. You get to see stuff that'd be a lot harder to see if you're walking around, or be just extremely straining just to walk around, just to see basic stuff, I want to say. But the scenery is special when you're by train because you get to quickly experience it and just suddenly see how Tokyo changes as you ride around the train. Then when you take the bullet train, you get to also just see how Japan changes. You get to see rural Japan, other little towns, cities. You get to really see the difference. And especially when you visit places like Kyoto and Osaka or any major city, just take the metro around those if you have a chance. You get to experience some of these cities that you never really would have thought of. And just as simple as this thing to do is, I highly recommend it. And it should be almost number one in your things to do, especially if you just have a day where you need a break. You know, get out of the heat, get out of the cold, whatever it might be. Try to find a time where it's not busy, because you really can't enjoy the ride when you're just crammed in the train like a sardine. Find a good time when the train's not as populated. You can look that up when that is. It's usually about midday. It's not so bad. Mornings are rough, a little in the evenings kind of rough to do it. But if you're around midday, especially on a weekday, the train should be pretty empty. Secure a seat and just kind of sit back and relax and just enjoy the ride and the scenery. Number 7, go to a theme cafe. And by theme cafe, usually the first thing that pops into mind are maid cafes for people. And that might be an option for you. I do not say do not avoid these cafes if that's something you would like to do. They offer a special experience doing the maid cafes, and there's a lot of other different cafes available. We went to an owl and hedgehog cafe, but like I said, there's many times. Some of them are like airsoft cafes. You do target practice, and you also got maid ones who make you special meals and do special things. It's all PG rated, so nothing gross by any means. You got ninja cafes, you got robot cafes, you got Gundam cafe, all different things that are different themes. And so if you see them that sparks your interest, don't be scared to do it. You're gonna pay a little bit more for the food than you would go to a normal restaurant, but you're paying for the experience and the entertainment. And it's definitely there and definitely worth it. And it's just kind of relaxing to go to these. Some of them are really fun. Some of them are more laid back. We went to a laid back one where we just petted owls and petted hedgehogs and just had a drink or two. And it was great. It was a good way just to kind of kill some time, experience something that we really couldn't ever experience here at home. And like I said, just highly recommend take some pictures and just really take it on all the things. And like I said, just be respectful. Don't go into these, especially if you go to one that involves girls, such as like Maid or the Ninja one. Don't go in there with any sort of grotesque ideas or act any certain way, because they are just working and just pretty much offering an entertainment service for you. Number 8. I apologize on the pronunciation, I struggle with it, but go to the Electric City of Hakihabara. There's a bunch of anime shops, cafes, and every electrical thing you could find, from classic antiques to brand new. There's small vendors offering specialized electronics. If you can think of it or it existed, they probably have it. From old radios to old clocks to brand new radios and clocks to LED lights to any cord you can think of, they have it there in these electric areas. Also, the anime shops. When you go to Japan, you have a favorite anime in mind, check out these shops and get a figure or some sort of manga or DVD. There's a lot of them around. When we were there, I did not see a lot of people in character and cosplay. Some weeks they are, some days they are more than others. There's also a lot of themed cafes here. This is where you're going to get a lot of different sort of cafes that are kind of out of the norm than what you would see around in like Shinjuku and other areas. So definitely take that on if you're looking for something more interesting, unique when you want to find your themed cafe. But like I said, definitely check this out. Tons of things to do here. Some of them are more adult than others, so be wary of that. It's not like everything is, and you have to be worried of bringing a child. Just understand some stores are adult stores there. They tend to be more prevalent in this area than I found than other areas. So something to keep in mind. But awesome town. I did not find a lot of food options here. You kind of had to go off the beaten path a little bit to find food. Otherwise, it's pretty much the basic food that you find around. To find anything sort of unique, you had to go down some side streets and go exploring a little bit to find it. A lot of stores here to get your Kit Kats, different flavored Kit Kats, that's for sure. I know that's a big thing a lot of people go to Japan for. And these stores tend to, I see at least, have the best prices and offer the best variety. So definitely take advantage of that, especially with also souvenirs. I found their souvenirs tend to be more reasonably priced than some other areas. Visit Shinjuku Goen National Garden. This garden was absolutely beautiful. If you're a student or have a student ID on you, costed, I believe, was $2, but for adults it's $5, and children are either free or $1 based on age. So the park is pretty reasonable to get into. There is a slight fee just because they do upkeep it, and there is special things in this park, as you'll see. It has massive koi ponds, and also offers this temple that was used for wedding ceremonies and marriages that you can go into, and it overlooks a koi pond that overlooks a park, and it's a beautiful sight, and it really lets you escape the city, especially Shinjuku with all the bright lights and the hustle and bustle that's there. This really lets you escape it, and it was extremely refreshing. It was created for the imperial household in 1906. It is a famous garden that offers many stunning views. If you go at the right time of year, sometimes a flower show will be happening. But luckily, we came during a time when they were showing roses, and it was absolutely beautiful. Every single type of rose you can manage was there. And not only was it there, it was probably the best rose of that kind that even existed. They were so perfectly grown and maintained and groomed. It was ridiculous, and it was pretty refreshing and beautiful to see. You always see a lot of things going on in this park. There's a lot of field trips going on in this park with kids. They also offer a traditional tea ceremony can be done here. It's a little cute, confusing to figure out how to do it, but simply just get a slip out of a vending machine and walk in. Well, I didn't know you had to walk in. I thought the slip on the vending machine would say the timer's supposed to go, but it's actually when it expires, so just something to keep in mind that wasn't well explained there. But the traditional tea ceremony is really nice and relaxing, and it's just more of an experience thing than actually drinking the tea itself. I highly recommend the experience, especially with this setting. It really brings it full circle too, which makes it a little extra special. This also offers a lot of different koi ponds. You'll see a ton of different turtles and animals roaming around. Nothing large. It's going to be mostly birds and sea life and things like turtles swimming around, and a couple like raccoons and stuff like that are going to be here, but they won't bother no one. Extremely clean park, like I said. If you just got to get away for a little bit from the city and you don't have the train pass, you can always walk to this park. And it's just beautiful regardless if you're there for the city or not. Just go to this park. You will not regret it. And finally, last on our list, visit the Tokyo Fish Market. And when you're there, make sure to try any type of seafood that you can eat. Obviously, I know some people are allergic, and they keep that in mind because there's a ton of different seafood here. But if you're not allergic, try and eat everything you can. It's pretty reasonably priced of food that they sell there. Buying seafood itself can be expensive because this is premium seafood that was really caught that day. And a lot of restaurants buy from this area. And some of them are even Michelin star restaurants when it comes to the tuna. So keep that in mind, because sometimes you'll see a piece of fish or something just high price as all can be, and you're confused why. Well, probably because it's a special piece meant for a restaurant. You can see a lot of different fillets of fish here, which is pretty neat to see. The sushi here is absolutely amazing because just how fresh it is ridiculous. It's a little bit more expensive here for sushi than other areas, but like so you're paying sort of for that freshness in this atmosphere. Highly recommend the skewers. There's like swordfish skewers and things like that, eel. Just get one of those. They're super cheap. I think I paid $1 or $2 for mine. Super worth it. That comes with about 100 yen, 200 yen. There are tons of ramen shops. You can even buy different seafood there and they'll cook it up right away. That's a little bit more reasonable price stuff that they cook on site. Or you can buy it and take it to the restaurants that are just out back, and they'll cook it up for you. The restaurants are a little hard to find. It's kind of like a hole in the wall, and you just see a bunch of little sort of stools with little grills in front of them. And there's like 4 different restaurants pretty much just down this hallway with all different sort of offerings that they have and ways to prepare stuff. Thank you guys for watching this video. None of my numbers or lists were in any sort of order. Just kind of way it came off the top of my head. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I hope you enjoy your visit in Tokyo and get to try some of these things out. I highly recommend all of them. I'm so glad I did all of them. They really made the experience something special. Alright guys, catch you in the next one.